An earthquake was felt in Jerusalem as well as in parts of Judea and Samaria last night. Thankfully, no one was injured. After the horrible earthquake in Turkey that happened on Monday, Israel immediately sent search and rescue teams. Now they are sending more humanitarian aid delegations to do all they can to help. The Biden administration called on Netanyahu to halt Israeli construction in the West Bank and to also stop demolishing illegal Palestinian building. I'm Justin, and this is the Israel Guys. Welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm Justin Hilton, your host for today with the news. Guys, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We're really trying to reach 100,000 subscribers this year, so if you would subscribe, that would really make our day. Also, make sure to like and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes of the Israel Guys that we're bringing to you now 5 times a week. We are bringing you a show every single day, Monday through Friday. Also, make sure to share our content so we can reach as many people as possible with the truth of what is actually happening, what is going on in the land of Israel. So, an earthquake was felt in Israel last night, in Jerusalem, as well as in different parts of Judea and Samaria. It was at 11:14 last night, according to the official Israeli seismological website. The earthquake had a magnitude of 3.5, but there are lots of different reports going around. Some say that it was as big as actually 4.8 magnitude. I didn't actually feel it. I was asleep at 11:14 last night, but some friends of ours who are close by in the area said they felt something pretty small. A resident of Beitel told Israel National News that he felt a split-second jolt and, quote, heard something that did not sound like the thunder he had heard earlier in the evening. Also, residents of Nablus felt it. It was nothing serious, just small things shaking around. You could see in some videos the chandeliers shaking and stuff, but nothing serious. No buildings collapsed or no injuries sustained, thankfully. The Home Front Command, they said, quote, an earthquake warning was not activated because it was not an earthquake that endangers the residents of Israel. So it was too small to activate the warnings that they had. Thankfully, no one was injured here. Before this, actually on Monday, before the earthquake happened, the Knesset Internal Affairs and Environment Committee called for an emergency meeting to review the country's earthquake preparedness in the wake of the earthquake that happened in Turkey and Syria. State Comptroller Matanya Engelman, he called on the government not to delay. He said, quote, do not wait for such a disaster to occur in Israel. Act immediately on the country's preparedness for earthquakes. So as I said before, thank God there were no deaths or even injuries occurred from this earthquake. But there's talks, officials are warning that a large earthquake happens in Israel around every 100 years. The last one that happened here in Israel was in 1927. So in the upcoming years, there could be a large earthquake in Israel. Thankfully, though, this one was comparatively small and no one was injured. So you guys know about the horrible major earthquake that happened in Turkey on Monday, but just yesterday morning, on Tuesday morning, there was another earthquake that occurred in Turkey. It had a magnitude of 5.6. Also on Tuesday, officials from the World Health Organization warned that the death toll in Syria and Turkey following this horrible earthquake could top 20,000 people, which is a huge, major disaster, just really awful for the people of Turkey in Syria. As you guys know, almost immediately after the earthquake happened, Israeli search and rescue teams took off for Turkey to help. And then on Tuesday morning, again, yesterday morning, another delegation took off to help. And then just last night, IDF troops went as part of the operation. They're calling olive branches. And just since then, just last night, as of this morning, they had already rescued 3 people who were buried alive. Here's a video of them pulling out a man from under the rubble. So as you can see there are the IDF already hard at work helping to rescue people who are buried alive from under the rubble. Also today, another delegation is set to take off for Turkey. This time it's a huge delegation of 230 members. It's composed of IDF Medical Corps, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Health, Medical Aid, as well as doctors, nurses, and paramedics. Also the National Steering Committee for Earthquake Preparedness in the Israel Ministry of Defense will assist this delegation. According to a statement made by the leader of this delegation, they will establish a field hospital, assist the Home Front Command in locating missing persons and extracting them from the ruins, and also focus on providing medical treatment in field hospitals using advanced Israeli medical equipment. So Israel is doing everything they can to help the people of Turkey. They're standing with the people of Turkey and supporting them, even though Israel and Turkey have not always been on the best of terms. They're not, let's say, close allies. Like there have been tensions between them in the past, but even despite all that, Israel is doing everything they can to help, offering humanitarian aid, sending huge delegations just to help wherever they can. I have a challenge for young people aged 18 to 35 who are passionate for God, love the Bible, Israel, and are looking for a challenge in the adventure of a lifetime. June 13th through July 25th, we are hosting a special 6-week volunteer program designed for young people. The primary purpose of the trip is to serve Israel's land and people through volunteer service projects. Besides planting thousands of trees in Judea and Samaria, we'll also be working hard in a variety of service, agricultural-based projects. Not only will you have the opportunity to put your hands and feet in Israel's soil and volunteer projects, but you'll get the opportunity to meet the people, see the places, and experience the stories of the Bible up close. This trip is not for everyone, and everyone who applies may not be accepted. The program will also be capped at 50 applicants. To find out more and put in your application, go to www.serveisrael.com or click the link in the description below. If you're a young person aged 18 to 35 who's ready for a challenge, volunteer service, and unforgettable adventure in the land of the Bible, go to serveisrael.com or click the link in the description below. So in other news, according to a JNS report, a Jewish news syndicate, during Anthony Blinken's visit to Israel last week, I covered this on my show last week, he made a request from the Biden administration to Netanyahu to halt Israeli construction in Judea and Samaria and to also stop demolishing illegal Arab building. Absolutely ridiculous claim to, for one, stop Israeli construction, which is really amazing, expanding in Judea and Samaria, which definitely needs to happen, and to also stop demolishing illegal, remember I said illegal Arab building. Absolutely ridiculous. Of course, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejected this call, although officials did say that while these activities would not be stopped completely, concessions would definitely be made. He said he's going to stop, not stop building, but definitely reduce the number of buildings that are going up in Judea and Samaria, Israeli buildings. So Washington reportedly asked that Jerusalem pause the action for several months, while also requested at the same time that the Palestinian Authority fully resume security coordination with Israel, which they had stopped on January 26th. Since that request was made, president of the PA of the Palestinian Authority, he announced that they would be resuming security coordination with Israel. Also, Washington asked the PA to postpone any additional steps against Israel at UN institutions and other international bodies. So on Monday, Netanyahu reportedly stopped an illegal Arab building from being destroyed in East Jerusalem. And why do you think that is? Well, yeah, for sure, because of the pressure from the Biden administration that is happening. This huge building that was slated to be destroyed, it houses 100 persons, absolutely massive, and it's located in the Wadi Qadam section of Silwan. So, as I said, this structure has been slated for demolition, but it's been slated for demolition for many, many years, and it's been put off time and time again because of international outcry and a lot of pressure from the American administrations. Netanyahu also last week told French President Emmanuel Macron, he had a meeting with him last week in Paris, he told him that building in Judea and Samaria would be greatly reduced. So lots of pressure coming from not only the Biden administration, but also from other entities around the world, from the international community. They need to stop pressuring Israel to halt Israeli construction. And maybe Israel should just stop listening to them. Maybe they should just not even care what the Biden administration says anymore. Maybe they should continue building, maybe build even more in Judea and Samaria. And for sure, illegal Palestinian Arab structures need to be destroyed. There needs to be one law for the Jews and Arabs, which is absolutely not happening right now. Guys, in other news, 9 Palestinian terror suspects were arrested in many of the Arab towns in Judea and Samaria early yesterday, Tuesday morning. So lots of counter-terrorism happening from the IDF, including some of the towns they operated in were Huwara, Kadum, Baka, Haija, and Hebron. When they also went into Nablus or Shechem, which is right next to where we are here on the Mount of Blessing. When they went into there, Palestinian gunmen opened fire on them and a gun battle happened. I don't know about you, but I feel like this happens a lot. So there are terrorist suspects. The IDF goes into an Arab town to arrest these suspects. The Palestinians open fire on the IDF. And a lot of times, maybe several Palestinians are killed because of this gun battle where they open fire on the IDF. And then the international community blames Israel for killing Palestinians. And the news media have heydays. Al Jazeera goes all over it talking about how Israel killed these innocent Palestinians. It seems like this happens a lot. So in this particular instance, the Palestinian gunmen, they opened fire on the IDF. Huge gun battle, as I said before. 1 Palestinian was reportedly killed. The Lion's Den terrorist group, they took responsibility for this battle, for opening fire on the IDF in Nablus. And according to the IDF, they were attacked in multiple locations throughout Judea and Samaria. So, moving on, in some good news, there are some Republican senators putting forth a bill to sanction the International Criminal Court, which, if this goes through, would be absolutely amazing. The bill was submitted on February 2nd by Senators Tom Cotton, together with Senator Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. This bill would sanction officials and associates of the International Criminal Court, known as the ICC, because, for one, they investigate, or prosecute U.S. troops and officials and American allies that do not recognize the authority of the tribunal, such as Israel. They cannot investigate countries that do not recognize them as an authority. And so these senators are saying that they need to pass sanctions against them. Israel doesn't not officially recognize the authority of the ICC, so they do not have authority over them. According to Arutz Sheva, the bill would impose penalties on any ICC employee or associate involved in investigating, prosecuting, or assisting in a probe of current or former U.S. soldiers or officials, or the current or former officials or troops of an ally of the United States that does not recognize the authority of the ICC. It would also revoke the visas of all ICC employees, all persons acting on behalf of the ICC, and the immediate family members of those sanctioned for investigating U.S. and allied troops and officials. Senator Tom Cotton said, quote, "The ICC has no legitimate jurisdiction over the United States or any country that does not recognize the ICC's authority." So the reason they're passing these sanctions, as I said before, is because they're doing things that are illegal. They're super anti-Israel, anti-Semitic. They're going after Israel. They've tried to many times open cases, criminal cases against Israel for their alleged war crimes. And Al Jazeera tried to bring a case to the ICC for the killing of their journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, but that didn't go through. I don't think. Hopefully this bill passes, because this would be amazing to sanction one of the most anti-Israel organizations in the world, the International Criminal Court. I think maybe they need to be brought to a criminal court. Guys, I like to end the show with some good news on a positive note. So I want to show you guys a video that you will never see on the mainstream media. Here is a video of an IDF soldier playing soccer with a Palestinian child in Hebron. Guys, I think that video pretty well clearly speaks for itself. There is not Israeli apartheid going on, and Israel deeply cares about even the Palestinian lives. They're not killing innocent Palestinian civilians. They only take out terrorists, and they care about the children. You know, they love the Palestinian children. Also, they care deeply about their neighbors, including Turkey and Syria, even though they might be their enemies. They're taking care of, they're going in, they're doing search and rescue operations, helping out as much as they can in the aftermath of the horrible earthquake that took place. Guys, I believe that if the international community, including the Biden administration, stopped pressuring Israel to cease building in Judea and Samaria, then the population of the West Bank would grow very, very rapidly. Luke talked about it yesterday about the population of Judea and Samaria, how it's projected to reach 1 million people by 2047. But I believe if the international community stopped pressuring Israel to stop building, then we would reach that 1 million goal a lot faster. Guys, make sure to sign up for the special ops trip. Make sure you check out the link in the description below. Don't forget to check that out. Also, subscribe and get the conversation going down in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think about the show, what's going on, about any lines that you want us to address, or even any questions that you have for us. Make sure to tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening in the land of Israel. We'll be back every Monday through Friday with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.